topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning, Texas and Louisiana. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show. This is our 16th year providing you with some of the greatest experts in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. This is hurricane season, and we had so many people ask us, how come you don't do a show on public insurance adjusting? And Texas is like one of our best markets, without a doubt. And I'm originally from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So we went on a search and we found one of the top public adjusters in the state of Texas. And you know what? Hey, those hurricanes don't just go to Texas, they go to Louisiana also. So we've included the Louisiana area, which is where our great producer Rebel is from. But let me say good morning to Sarah Mitchell Butler of Provident Public Adjusters. Good morning, Sarah.
Hi, good morning, Steve-O. How are you?
I am doing great. Hey, this is getting ready to become the busy time of the year. It's already here in Florida. It's already raining like crazy.
Yeah.
And you guys down in the Gulf part of Texas, this is bad weather for you. But what's so amazing, Sarah, is so many people don't even know what a public adjuster does. So start off, let's tell people about your company, Provident Public Adjusters.
Sure. So we are a boutique firm. So we have a small team that is able to dedicate a substantial amount of time and effort on your claim. So you're not just a number, just like maybe one of these larger firms, which is not bad, but we're able to and provide, top level service to each client.
You know, it's not just hurricanes. Tell people about all the different areas that a homeowner can have problems with their homeowner insurance claim.
I'm sorry, you cut.
Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay?
I can. It just cut out just a tiny.
Okay.
Yes. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, we hear you fine. So there's so many different areas. It's not just hurricanes that you cover.
Correct. Yes. Hurricanes are a seasonal type of a loss and really concentrated to, the. So, we handle all of that, but yes, those coastal areas do get hit with those as well. And they could be pretty detrimental to the towns and cities and obviously the policyholders affected.
Also, there's fire and smoke damage, maybe break-ins. There's a lot of different areas. Tell people what a licensed public adjuster does.
Sure. So a licensed public insurance adjuster represents the policyholders for their specific insurance claims. So if they have any type of loss, it is the duties of the public adjuster to represent them, represent the loss measures. So we wanted that we're accounting for all direct damage, but any damages that are
I think we're having some internet problems. Can you hear me, Sarah?
I I can hear you now. Yes, but I
Okay.
did lose you for a minute.
Okay. Let's. I. g- I've got so many questions for you today. What are some of the most common mistakes property owners make when they're filing an insurance claim on their own?
Yeah, so they generally under document and over trust the insurance company. A few photos are not going to cut it. If it's not written, photographed, and backed up by evidence, the insurance company is not, they're going to be less likely to pay it. And then we also,
Ooh.
yeah, so that we want to be able to create a complete package of the document of the damage and document it correctly within the confines of the policy. And then also giving statements without guidance can actually hurt the claim as well. A lot of homeowners, for example, they might find out that they have a water claim that their sink, maybe the P trap busted, and they have a sudden and accidental loss. And underneath the cabinets there might be some bacterial growth, or some mold there. Well, when you say things like that, the carrier is automatically going to state that this is a long term leak, and so now you're looking at possibly getting a denial of coverage, and then it just complicates the matter. If we don't consolidate the damage to what is actually happening and make it within the confines of the policy, we see a lot of homeowners get hurt there.
I want people to understand that every claim is different. Just because one claim got a lot doesn't mean the next person's going to get a lot. And I learned that personally because I had a claim about 15 years ago, which I wish I would have known uh, your company at the time, but I tried to handle it myself. And I was offered about $30,000 for my claim. And a friend of mine said, "Why aren't you using a public adjuster?" And my question was like, "What is a public adjuster?" Well, once they convinced me that I should have someone on my side to level the playing field out with these big insurance companies, Sarah, I got like $130,000. And I was ready to settle for 30,000. And does it amaze you sometimes the amount of money you get your client versus what they offered? Oh, I guess we're having problems with Sarah's
Steve, her internet was patchy. When she comes back, I'll patch her back in.
Okay. We're waiting for Sarah to come back in. I guess she probably didn't hear my question to her. It is so important that if you have a claim, whether it's leaks, flooding, roof problems, fire, or smoke, that you have a public adjuster um, representing you because these insurance companies, their job here, she's coming back in. There
Yes,
she is.
I
Good.
think we're good on the internet now. That
Okay. Hey, so my question was, I don't know if you heard it or not, but I
no.
was telling people how important it is to have a public adjuster. I had a claim about probably maybe closer to 15 years ago, and they offered me $30,000. And a friend of mine said, "Why aren't you using a public adjuster?" And like, what is a public adjuster? I had no idea. And he convinced me to get a public adjuster. Sarah, I ended up getting $135,000. Now, I know every claim is different, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, But do you ever think about, gosh, look what I got my client versus what they offered? Oh no, looks like she's frozen again. I guess she's frozen. I don't know what the problem is with the internet. Looks like she's frozen again. Um, anyway, I'm going to keep going
Okay.
on. So, oh, there
I'm
she is.
sorry. Yes, I'm back now. Yes. Okay. Yes, it actually is very common. I love that about what I do. I love when I'm able to multiply a claim to that effect. And yes, it happens a lot. As I mentioned before, a lot of damages end up being consequential to the construction. We see a lot of claims where maybe the insurance company will only pay like a little patch job of flooring, so to speak, if it was a water loss, when they had continuous flooring throughout their entire house. And so things like that, create a multiplier effect, because then now you're looking at, well, what happens with the baseboard? And now we're painting everything. And so is very well trained to do that.
What role does documentation play in winning a fair settlement? Oh, we're kind of having a lot of problems. Did you get that last question, Sarah?
I didn't. I'm so sorry. I don't know
Okay.
what's going on with my internet here.
Okay, it's okay. I mean, hey, we're a live show. Got the big national companies. You'll see them freeze. My question is, what role does documentation play in winning a fair settlement?
Yeah, so it is literally everything. If there is not documentation, there is not a payout. So a strong file with photos, estimates, and expert reports, it makes it hard for the insurance company to lowball you, because you are providing good faith measures to give them and prove your loss, which is the duty of the insured, which is what the public adjuster does. Basically, it turns your claim into evidence that the insurance company just cannot ignore.
I got to tell you, my hat's off to you. These insurance companies, huge, deep pockets, and these adjusters come to you to make you an offer, and their job is to pay the homeowner the least amount possible. They're not your friend, are they?
No, and I mean, they're just doing their job, right? That's what they're doing.
Right.
They're doing their job, and so at the same time, it's my job to represent the insured and my client, and do my job effectively. So yeah.
What happens if you can't agree?
Yeah, so good question. Every policy is different, but every policy has dispute resolution built into it, even past the public adjuster point. So we can take it to appraisal. Some policies right for mediation or even litigation if it's needed. But the main thing is the key is that the insured doesn't feel left alone against the carrier. There's multiple layers built in the policy to protect the consumer as well.
Okay, here's a big question that we've been getting since we were promoting your show coming on. Um, can a public adjuster reopen a closed claim?
Yes, absolutely. So
Ooh.
obviously, yes. So it's if new damage shows up or the payout was short, we can file a supplement or reopen it. It's always going to depend on what's in the policy, right? And then you will, some policies only have 2 years, time-lapse statutes of 2 years built in there. But many times, we're able to reopen a claim and double it, triple it sometimes once a public adjuster is involved.
We just got our first text from Fort Worth. I'm really enjoying the show. I just found it. I'm so glad there's a show out there like this. What happens if you're not happy with your public adjuster and you would want to hire someone like Sarah. Are you allowed to do that?
Yes, I mean, you do have a contract with another public adjuster, so you want to try to get the claim resolved as best as you can with your existing public adjuster, just because they have, that discourse with the carrier. But if they are failing to represent you to the best of their ability, if they're non-communicative, then you'll have to ask them to provide a release, and then the insurance company is going to need to see a release form from the previous public adjuster before they'll engage with a new one.
Well, that's a nice compliment to you anyway, even if they can't do anything. What's the difference between you've got public adjuster, you've got an independent adjuster, and you've got a company adjuster? What's the difference between the three?
Yeah, so it's pretty simple. A company adjuster is going to work directly for the insurance company. That every insurance company has their own different employment models. So, for example, they might be a direct employee, a direct adjuster for that specific carrier. An independent adjuster is a third party adjusting group, and they sometimes, like a State Farm or an Allstate, they might hire an independent adjuster if they need an influx of resources, if there's these large catastrophe events where they just don't have enough staff adjusters. They'll employ independent adjusters as well to come represent the insurance company for that claim. And then obviously a public adjuster, we represent only the policy holders. So there's the two categories: public adjuster and then company adjuster and an independent adjuster. So we both represent different people in the claim.
Here's a great question from Mike in North Dallas. Do you work with community association board members?
Oh yeah, all the time. There's, whoever has an asset that needs representation they can be in any capacity, an association, homeowners association, condo association. Yes, 100%.
We made a decision to not only cover the Dallas-Fort Worth area where your home office is, but to cover all of Texas and Louisiana. But I got to tell you, my 25 years of living in Dallas-Fort Worth, we had tornadoes, we had ice storms, we had so many different weather-related areas. Just the Dallas-Fort Worth area must keep you busy.
Yes, that most certainly. We stay pretty busy. There really aren't enough public adjusters out there for the amount of claims and the amount of homeowners and business owners that need representation.
Are there times that hiring a public adjuster doesn't make sense?
Yeah. For very small claims, like if maybe you have a broken glass, that might not make sense because the fee is just going to outweigh the payout. And if there's simple matters that don't necessarily warrant any cascading of construction events, then that might not make sense. So, but for bigger losses, a public adjuster is always going to increase the settlement enough to be worth it.
Now, is there a situation where homeowners can start preparing before a loss? I mean, I know if you have a break-in, you can't really prepare for that unless you've got a security system in, but there's so many. And I want to let people know you also handle businesses too, right?
Yes, correct. Yes, so that's a really good question, Steve. I wish that more people took those things into consideration, but really, truly, it's any type of documentation that you have. So if you're a business, ensuring that your receipts, your POs, your accounting is in order. That way, when there is any type of loss measure, that can easily be documented. And then for for homeowners, creating any type of home inventory with photos and just keep good habits of keeping your receipts. I know it's a lot easier these days with Amazon, but if you're making large purchases, you can just snap a photo of it and save it to the cloud and just keep these digital copies. And then always keep a copy of your policy. Just make sure that you can access it in your carrier's portal or anything like that. That way, after disaster strikes, you're not scrambling to try to reproduce something. Even snapping pictures of your home, just a quick 360, 4 corners, anything like that helps if there's any type of fire loss there where everything's destroyed and beyond recognition.
I got to tell you, this is only our second show, and Sarah will be with us again next month. I got to tell you, I am so in awe how educated you are. And I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to don't be afraid to be honest. Why should I hire Provident Public Insurance Adjusters?
Well, we are just all of us, the team here, me as a leader, we are very passionate about protecting the insured. I truly believe that, owning a home and owning a business is the American dream. And I have seen people lose their homes and lose their businesses because of a loss that it was just too far gone. And so I'm just a big advocate of, protecting the insured and everything that you've put your life and your work into. And so that shows up in our work product because we do genuinely care about the policyholder, and we want to, ensure that they are made whole after a loss.
Well, I got to tell you, a person is really, because you get paid basically on a contingency basis. I mean, there's no upfront money at all, and you do so much work before you realize your first dime. And I got to tell you, I love what you do. I'm so glad we have you as part of the show. Tell people how they can reach you.
Sure. They can reach out to us on our website at www.txclaims.com or give us a call or shoot us a text at 817-692-9144.
Really simple. And if you missed part of the show today, you can actually go back to iHeart or Spotify under Ask the Experts Texas Public Insurance Claims Adjuster. You can watch the show again, listen to the show again. Sarah will be back again with us next month. Sarah, thank you so much. I'm sorry about the internet problems. Sometimes it happens, but
Yeah,
we're a live show. It's okay. Worse things can happen. We'll see you next month.
Okay, see you next month. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay,
That's Sarah Mitchell, Provident Public Insurance Adjusters. Sorry about the internet problems. Sometimes they can't be helped. But we'll be back again with you next week with more Ask the Experts. Thank you, Rebel.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.